Hello, welcome once again. Now we'll be teaching about form and input of HTML. Let's proceed. First, we have our form. See the attribute action. What this attribute does is where we connect the backend, that is the server, to our form. That is where we interlink the data we'll be collecting from the input and then submitting them to the backend. So here I can have something like, let's say, PHP dot request, and then the action, the method is what gets request, because the browser make use of get request, right? So we proceed. The first input we have is what the input type of text, which include many attributes like name. Let's say name could be fee name, then ID, placeholder. Now, the functionality or the purpose of all these attributes in this input element: type text defines the behavior of the input, that is telling the user the type of input or the type of text that is accepted on this input. So here it is telling the user this input accept plain text. Then the name is the name of the input on the browser. That is, if the browser, as we click on submit button, we have what we call the submit button. As we click on submit button, this input submit the data that is included in this place with the name input, with the name fee name. So this data is submitted to the backend through this attribute name. Then when you come to ID, ID is a unique identifier of an input on the browser, while placeholder is just like a hint, a faint, or maybe say a faint hint, telling the user, maybe if the user is confused on the type of data that is expected of him or her to impute. So this is what we help the user to know the exactly action that is required of him or her. So I can have something like my label indicating first name, first name. So you can see it here in my browser. I have first name. So then next I have input type of, I have input type of text and name, maybe Ellen name, Ellen name ID. ID will still be name, or I can say ID Ellen name. Then placeholder, last name, telling the user your last name is what is expected, right? Now I can come here and add the label. And label is last name. Well, you can see, it is see all of them are on a straight line, but I want them to be arranged vertically. So I can decide to wrap each of them on a container called div. I'll wrap each of them on a container called div. On this, you can see them on a container called div to help me to space well. So you can see here label for this is requiring for another attribute that you can use to link or identify with the input. So now I can decide to put name, and then for this place I can decide to put L name. So I can either focus the input through the label or focus it on itself. So this thing helped me to connect the label with the input, right? Good. So moving forward, we still have other type or categories of input, which include input type of number. You have input type of number. This one accepts numbers. So let's add our label. Our label, let's say phone number. Phone number. Let's say and then the ID will be number. And then for here, can add it number. So the next input is the input type of mail, input type of email. Let's add our label as usual. Email. Add here email. We say mail. I'm gonna add here mail. So we expect an email. You can see I can auto fill some email. Then the input type again we have is the input type of dates. Maybe you have a birthday celebration or a festival. So we have the input type of date where our label will be date. Our ID will also be date. And here our file will also be date. So here you can see, you can select as many dates we want. Right. So, but you see, all these things they are clustered. So if I want to give spacing to all of them, so I will need to come and make use of break, a line break. Make use of a line break so that there will be spacing. And see line break, right? So the next input we have is the input type of radio button, right? So we have as radio, we can call the ID as RD, right? So but this one normally appears twice. On our label, you can have our label. Let's say first one should be male, second one should be female. Second one should be female. And now I can, well, if you notice, if I come to my browser, I can select the two. Okay, okay, right. So this tells why I can select the two. So you see it's working properly. Then the next one we have, we can add our line break. And we have the input type of checkbox. And our label can be, let's say, subscribe. And with this, you see, we can just, or can even check it from here. So these are majorly the type of inputs we need to know and we'll be working with. And with this, we come to the end of this section. See you in the next video.